हो गया। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्रिषे नमः। नवगौरवरं नवपुष्पशरं नवभावधरं नवलास्यपरम् नवगौरवरं नवपुष्पसरं नवभावधरं नवलास्यपरम् नवहास्यकरं नवहेमवरम् नवहास्यकरं नवहेमवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुतगौरवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुतगौरवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुतगौरवरम्। नवप्रेमयुतं नवनीतशुचं नवैषकृतं नवप्रेमरसम् नवप्रेमयुतं नवनीतशुचं नववेषकृतं नवप्रेमरसम् नवदा विलस शुभप्रेममयम् नवधा विलस शुभप्रेममयम् प्रणमामि सचेषुतगौरवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुतगौरवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुतगौरवरम्। हरिभक्तिपरं हरिनामधरं करणाप्यखरं हरिनामपरम् हरिभक्तिपरं हरिनामधरं करणाप्यकरं हरिनामपरम् नयने सततं प्रणयाश्रुधरम् नयने सततं प्रणयाश्रुधरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुत गौरवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुत गौरवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुत गौरवरम् सततं जनता भवतापहरं परमार्थपरायण लोकगतिम् सततं जनता भवतापहरं परमार्थपरायण लोकगतिम् नवलेहकरं जगतापहरम् नवलेहकरं जगतापहरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुत गौरवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुत गौरवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुत गौरवरम् निज भक्तिकरं प्रियचारुतरं नटनार्तननागरराजकुलम् निज भक्तिकरं प्रियचारुतरं नटनार्तननागरराजकुलम् कुलकामिनी मानसलास्यकरम् कुलकामिनी मानसलास्यकरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुत गौरवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुत गौरवरम् करतालवलं कलकण्ठरवं मुदवाद्यसुवीणकया मधुरम् करतालवलं कलकण्ठरवं मृदुवाद्यवीणिकया मधुरम् निज भक्ति गुणावृत नाट्यकरम् निज भक्ति गुणावृत नाट्यकरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुत गौरवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुत गौरवरम् युगधर्मयुतं पुननदसुतं धरणी सुचित्रं भवभावोचितम् युगधर्मयुतं पुनर्नन्दसुतं धरणी सुचित्रं भवभावोचितम् तनुध्यानचितं निजवासयुतं तनुध्यानचितं निजवासयुतं प्रणमामि सचेषुतगौरवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुतगौरवरम् अरुणं नयनं शरणं वसनं वदने स्खलितं शरणामधरम् अरुणं नयनं शरणं वसनं वदने स्खलितं स्वकनामधरम् कुरुते सुरसं जगता जीवनम् कुरुते सुरसं जगता जीवनम् प्रणमामि सचेषुतगौरवरम् प्रणमामि सचेषुतगौरवरम् हे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे राम 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 हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha Krishna Chandra, Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe. Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe. Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hare. Gaura hai, Gaura hai, Gaura hai, Gaura hai. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Jasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Vana Chari. Yamunatiravanachare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Gaurang Nitai Gaurang Nitai Gaurang Nitai Jaya Gaurang Nitai
Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai
Jaya Gaurang Nitai Gaurang Nitai Gaurang Nitai Jaya Gaurang Nitai
Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai
Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe
Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Vishnuvad Paramamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnuvad Paramamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 15th chapter, text number 20. Yat sankulam aripadhanati matra drishtair Vaidurya Katahema Mahair Vimane Yesham Brihat Katitata Smita Shobhi Mukhya Krishnatmanam Krishnatmanam Naraja Adadhur Utsmayadyai Yat sankulam aripadhanati matra drishtai Vaidurya Marakatahe Mamahair Vimanai Yesham Brihat Katitata Smita Shobhi Mukhya Krishnatmanam Naraja Adadhur Utsmadhyadyai Yat sankulam aripadhanati amatra drishtai Vaidurya Marakataye Mamahair Vimanai Yesham Brihat Katitata Smita Shobhi Mukhya Krishnatmanam Naraja Adudhurutsmayadhyai What? Word to word meaning, Yat, that Vaikunta abode, Sankulam is pervaded, Haripadha, at the two lotus feet of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anati, by obeisances. Matra, simply. Drishtaihi, are obtained. Vaidhurya, lapis lazuli. Marakata, emeralds. Ema, gold. Mayaihi, made of. Vimanaihi, with airplanes. Yesham, of those passengers. Brahad, large. Katitataha, hips. Smita, smiling. Shobhi, beautiful. Mukyaha, faces. Krishna, in Krishna. Atmanam, whose minds are absorbed. Na, not. Rajaha, sex desire. Adaduhu, stimulate. Utsmayadhyaihi, by intimate friendly dealings, laughing and joking. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their airplanes made of lapis lazuli, emerald and gold. Although crowded by their consorts, who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces, they cannot be stimulated to passion by their mirth and beautiful charms. Please repeat the translation. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in the airplanes made of lapis lazuli, emerald and gold. Although crowded by their consorts, who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces, they cannot be stimulated to passion by their mirth and beautiful charms. Purport. In the material world, opulences are achieved by materialistic persons by dint of their labor. One cannot enjoy material prosperity unless he works very hard to achieve it. But the devotees of the Lord who are residents of Vaikuntha have the opportunity to enjoy a transcendental situation of jewels and emeralds. Ornaments made of gold bedecked with jewels are achieved not by working hard, but by the benediction of the Lord. In other words, devotees in Vaikuntha world or even in this material world cannot be poverty-stricken as is sometimes supposed. They have ample opulences for enjoyment, but they need not labor to achieve them. It is also stated that in the Vaikuntha world, the consorts of the residents are many times more beautiful than we can find in this material world. Even in the higher planets, it's specifically mentioned here that a woman's large hips are very attractive and they stimulate man's passion. But the wonderful feature of Vaikuntha is that although the women have large hips and beautiful faces and are decorated with ornaments of emeralds and jewels, the men are so absorbed in Krishna consciousness that the beautiful bodies of the women cannot attract them. In other words, there is enjoyment of the association of the opposite sex, but there is no any sexual relationship. The residents of Vaikuntha have a better standard of pleasure, so there is no need of sex pleasure. The sense of Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yat sankulam haripadha nati matra drishtair vaidhuryamara katahe mamahair vimanai yesham brihat katitatha smita shobhi mukyaha krishnatmanam narajahadadur utsma yadyai. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their airplanes made of lapis lazuli, emerald, and gold. Although crowded by their consorts, who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces, they cannot be stimulated to passion by the mirth and beautiful charms. So, Lord Brahma is further describing the experience of the four Kumaras when they visited the Vaikuntha planet and what and all they saw in the Vaikuntha planet. So here, Lord Brahma is saying that the four Kumaras saw that the entire Vaikuntha planet, just like we have motorbike, we have car, every inhabitant of Vaikuntha has their own personal airplane. And their airplane is not made of aluminium. Motor engine, which needs gasoline to run it. Air fuel. Air fuel is different, right? Here, our machines work like that. And their machines, it will burn and pollute the air. When our vehicles pass in the road, what does it do? It gives you bad smell. Black. In the air, it deposits various metals which affects our lungs. So here it is being said that the aircrafts of Vaikuntha planet, what are they made of? Prabhupada is using the word lapis lazuli. First time I'm hearing this word. Emerald and gold. So lapis lazuli. I was just checking. What is this lapis lazuli? So it is like one more very costly pearls, emeralds, gold. And they are surrounded by the women of the Vaikuntha planet. They are so beautiful with very, very attractive bodily features. So, just imagine in this material world, everybody is working very hard. For what? To buy, somebody is working hard to buy a motorcycle. Somebody is working hard to buy a car. Day and night is slogging. Somebody is working very hard to even buy an airplane. And then they're also working hard so that they can get beautiful women as their wife, family, all these things. And Prabhupada is saying that the residents of Vaikuntha, achieve all this without working hard. Just like that, they get these things. So, what should an intelligent man do? Should he work hard and get all these things? Or should he think how to enter Vaikuntha? If I enter Vaikuntha, I don't have to work for all these things. I can automatically get all these things. Right? But when I first heard this example which Prabhupada gave, I never thought in that direction. That example which Srila Prabhupada said, I always used to think, when people used to say, the donkey is a dumb animal, I used to think, why they are saying donkey don't have buddhi? But I was afraid to ask. Then they'll say, you are pakka donkey. Because I didn't know what was the reason that they used to say that the donkeys are foolish animals. But then when I first heard, when I came to ISKCON temple and I heard Prabhupada saying, explaining as to why asses are fools. So Prabhupada gives that story or explains that how the ass sees grass everywhere. Grass is there everywhere, no? But the ass thinks that only my master can give me the grass. And so he slogs. The ass is made to work like anything. And if you see, the person who controls the ass, they are left free. He can just run away, no? Like for example, here there are no asses. When I was in Vrindavan, when our temple project I was doing, so I first time we ordered some material, construction material. So then I saw some 25 asses have come to our land. So all of us, we were shocked. Anjali also was there. We were shocked. What is happening here? Because I have never seen asses coming into this one. And all of them in the back of the ass, they have put sand. With sandbags, they are filled. And that ass is carrying 25 asses. And none of them have any rope or anything in that. They just walked, poor things. They came all. The person who was herding the asses, he just put all the sand down. He took the money and he went away. And for some time the ass was there roaming around in our land, making blah, blah, blah sounds. And we were laughing, what is this? So you see how the asses have been brainwashed. Actually brainwashed. They have to carry that huge load on their back. Each ass carrying about 200 kgs of sand, walking from the Yamuna banks till our place, dumped all the this one. And then as soon as it got dumped, that fellow who was managing that donkeys, to all the donkeys he put some husk there. And the donkeys are very happy. We got our meal. So Prabhupada saying this, that donkeys are so foolish, they are even left free. No, I am obedient to you, sir. I will work quietly, sir. For what? The purpose is, you are my caretaker, you are my Annadata. For that I will work for you. His Anna is everywhere. But he is so foolish. he can get everything that is required for himself. He just have to go around and just search and eat. But he thinks no. Actually, human beings are also like that. We are children of God. We are not ordinary people. When Krishna is saying, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, we are direct amshas of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we are not temporary also, we are eternal, we are Sanatana. Krishna is saying two aspects. We are directly Krishna's part and parcel, and we are not temporary, we are eternal. So this so-called need, requirement is all temporary. Body itself is temporary. Because we are falsely identified with this body. That is why we have to struggle. As soon as we identify, realize that we are amshas of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we understand what our nature is. We won't become servant of this body. Rather, we will become servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is actually our original identity. So when we read Srimad Bhagavatam and we read such kind of verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam, it forces us to think, what am I really doing? Where am I going in my life? Am I really becoming like a donkey? It makes us think. Should I be like a donkey? Should I do hard work for getting all these kind of things? Can't my life be used for a better purpose? Supposing this lecture I go and give it to a donkey. I called a donkey. I make him sit and I tell him, hey, Nalaik, why are you working with your master man? Run away, go. You live happily. You don't have to carry this fellow's load every day, day in, day out. The donkey will not understand. He will just look at me like a blank face, and then again, as soon as the his caretaker takes the stick up, oh, chalo bhai, tata bhai, I have to go, he will go. That is the donkey's response to my Bhagavatam class to him. Okay, we can understand. That is a donkey. It doesn't have the brains, it doesn't have the IQ to understand all these kind of things. But what is really sad is human beings. The sad part of human beings is we human beings, we hear, we understand, and yet we act like donkeys. That is really sad. Pashyan napi na pashyati punascharvita charvananam. These are the words of the Srimad Bhagavatam. In spite, the donkey doesn't understand reality. Accepted. Its level of consciousness is so low. But human beings, they understand this. They experience this. They see this. They know this reality. and yet they behave like donkeys. So what should we do? We say बुद्धू, अरे छोड़ो यार, वो दिमाग का थोड़ा कमजोर है. There's no point in shouting at them. There's no point in telling them. Everybody, what do? They ignore them. They will just ignore them. Now that child is there, you see, he's running, jumping, doing all those. What will we do? Yeah, chalo, bachcha hai. He's not so matured. He will do that kind of a thing. But when man does, what is it? What happens? If a mature fellow starts behaving like that, then it's really outrageous, no? Actually, we as human beings should really contemplate why I'm not able to think. I'm seeing this reality. I'm seeing this truth. Yet I am not able to do things. Just yesterday, one boy was talking to me. So he has newly joined some work, it seems. And he is working now. And last 6 months he has been working now. And he was telling me, real struggle, Prabhu, there. My back is breaking. So hard work it is. I am experiencing very difficult work. No proper eating, no proper staying there. Colleagues are hopeless fellows, dirty fellows. All those experiences he was telling me. And then he was telling me, Prabhu, I think what you people are doing only is nice, that much more easier. So what do you want to do now? I asked. I don't know, Prabhu. So you say, so clearly he is seeing everything. He knows everything, he is seeing everything. And then he says, what do you want to do now? I don't know, Prabhu. So this is material world. Welcome to the jungle. You cannot come out of it. So what actually can make us, can help us to take up and follow the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam? What can bring us to Krishna consciousness, and with unflinching faith we follow this path? What can trigger us to make us follow that unflinching path? Actually, many factors are there that can help us develop that unflinching faith towards Krishna consciousness. But the real most important factor is the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Somehow or the other, if we are bestowed with the mercy of Guru and Krishna, then our faith in the process becomes very strong. And when we have strong faith in Guru and Krishna, then automatically we won't violate any principles. We will, just like we say, Prabhu, mercy of Krishna, mercy of Guru and Krishna. It is not sadhana. That means sadhana is not so important. More important than sadhana is Guru and Krishna's mercy, or is our attitude, our service nature, because we talk about all these things, right? For devotion, we need sadhana, we need good attitude, we need that dasya bhava, that servitude nature, we need that humility, we need all these kind of things. So when we are stressing that Guru and Krishna's mercy is key, does that mean that other things in gradation, is it lesser? Actually, no. Then why are you telling Guru and Krishna's mercy is key? Actually, somebody who's been bestowed with Guru and Krishna's mercy, they will never falter in any of the things that I mentioned. They are not going to become slack in their sadhana. Their attitude is not going to become puffed up. They are not going to egoistically take actions. Their attitude is always going to be humble. They are always in servitude mood. Their consciousness is always not as lauding tendency. Because they are always anchoring for Guru and Krishna's mercy. Guru and Krishna's mercy, you stand no chance if you indulge in all these kind of things. So they automatically are aware that if I have to be blessed by Guru and Krishna, then I have to follow all these things, and they automatically align themselves in such a position that they are willingly obedient to all the instructions of the spiritual master. Willingly obedient. Rebellious means we have our own independent agenda. We have our own independent desires. So when we are rebellious, when we are having our own independent desire, then what are we trying to do? We are actually trying to stop Krishna and Guru from interfering in our lives. We are telling Guru and Krishna, stop. No, I have my own ways of doing things. So then that entire, you are missing the opportunity of the entire, just like for example, India is there. And now in the world, the superpowers is, say, America. This is just a gross material example to make you understand the principle. Now, America wants nothing from India, it just wants to support India. Supposing India says, no, America, wait, I have my own way of doing things. No, rather, if India wants to come up, we should use all external support that we are getting, right? So actually what, similar way, if Guru and Krishna, they know how to take care of us, they are better enabled to understand our needs and requirements. You have an expert doctor to guide you through your illness, right? But if you tell, I will handle my own illness, is it intelligence or is it foolishness? Somebody has very well understood how to deal with that illness. So it is incumbent upon that person to take guidance and learn from the doctor, no? From that subject expert. And he's telling, I'll give it to you free. I don't want any money. But this foolish fellow says, no. He says, no, I will deal it with myself. This is arrogance, this is stubbornness. This is driven by false ego. Actually, in the material world, we can see all these categories of people with respect to spiritual practice. Day in, day out, we see this kind of nature. We are seeing that, hey, come on, I can guide you. But then, when that person shows reservation, the other person says, Arey, chodo yaar. He wants to be like that. He wants to go and sit there. What can be done? Just like Narada Muni is telling Indra, who was at the who became a pig, come out. You are Indra. Your original identity is Indra. You should stay there. He says, no, I will be here only. I have so many commitments to do. It is such a revealing thing to us. When we see that somebody is so mesmerized by the chamak damak of this material world, and people so foolishly, openly speak about the glories of the material world. Prabhu, you should see what it is. I am seeing that. I am getting this. I am doing that. So many things they boast. All is empty boast. Nothing is there in that. Prabhupada says, the example of Prabhupada is so sharp pointed. Prabhupada says, in the material world, all pleasures, Prabhupada compares it as what? Prabhupada compares all pleasures of this material world as, one is a dry stool, one is wet stool. Whether it is dry stool or wet stool, both are stool, dirty. It doesn't matter really. Or rather, if you instead of pleasure, if you say, hey, wet stool, that is very dirty. Oh, dry stool, little better. Is it true? Both are stool, yeah, you foolish fellow. It's only like that in the material world. So, the various aspects of this world, when we are given, and the worst part, the worst kind of people are who completely reject. When we say about all these things, who have absolutely no faith, the atheistic class of people, the Mayavadis, they are very dangerous. Many people have faith, but they don't want to at least come up to that level. But the atheists and the Mayavadis, they can completely, when we talk about the Vaikuntha planet, it's like that. They will reject, oh, this is all fantasy, not at all real. And in Kali Yuga, we can see that kind of category of people are in large numbers now. That there's complete denial. Total denial. Nah, nothing like that. Go. So this mercy is a key aspect. And that's why we say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most munificent incarnation. Most munificent, most merciful. Because we are people who have no experience of spiritual ananda. Because we only have what we have an experience of pain or pleasure is completely sensual. Only on a material sensual platform we have the experience of either pain or pleasure. We do not know of an experience beyond our senses of either pain or pleasure. So we react sensually. We are not after pain sensually. We are after pleasure sensually. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first gave us a glimpse of pleasure beyond the senses through Sankirtana. Through Sankirtana, Mahaprabhu gave us a glimpse of pleasure that is not anything to do with our body, mind and senses. So Sankirtana is so powerful. The Lord's holy name is so powerful that it can give us an experience beyond the mind, body and senses. And repeatedly, the power of Sankirtana has been proven, experimentally proven. Srila Prabhupada proved it without any doubt. Prabhupada says, when Prabhupada was asked, what is the success of your movement? How did you achieve this success? Prabhupada says, I simply chanted Krishna's name and I followed my spiritual master verbatim. Word to word, I followed my spiritual master. So the simply credit goes to the holy name, which is the manifestation of Krishna. And Prabhupada says, I followed my Guru. So anybody who follows Guru and Krishna, he will achieve success. So Prabhupada did that and showed it. Prabhupada showed. People have no idea who is Krishna. People had no idea about spirit. But Prabhupada went to Tompkinson Square and chanted Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and those people became devotees of Krishna. The same formula, Prabhupada read it in many different parts of the world. And then not only Prabhupada's disciples did the same thing and continued making devotees everywhere. And we also are seeing the same thing. Right? We four devotees, we came here, we started chanting. So many other people started following. When we came from Bangalore, we didn't bring 1 rupee here also. Money also came. Place also came. Money, wealth, everything comes. You see, when we say people, how it happens, how it has it has happened, Baba, see. See for yourself. It works. It works. Oh, no. How it is possible? There is no logic. No logic. It works. The Sankirtana is Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. There is no doubt about it. This is words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Why Sankirtana works? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. When our Chetana becomes purified, when our consciousness is purified, Bhava Mahagni Dhavagni, we are able to overcome this ocean of material life. Nirvapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidya Vadu Jivanam. When our consciousness is purified, we are able to transcend the ocean of material suffering. And then, where are we situated? Anandam Buddhivardhanam. From the ocean of material suffering, we are transferred to the ocean of happiness. Anandam Buddhivardhanam. And in that ocean of happiness, what are we doing? Pratipadam Poornamrita Swadanam. Moment to moment, we are enjoying happiness. Nectar is coming. We are experiencing a nectar of happiness. Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Poornamrita Swadanam. How? Sarvatma Snapanam. By surrendering completely, we experience what? Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. There is no doubt that if you take up the process of Sankirtana, you will be successful. Not only successful, you will be the most successful person. And we can see this reality happening again and again and again and again. Krishna says this, anybody who surrenders to me, I will ensure that you are taken care of. Mam upetyato kaunteya. Krishna says, anybody who does upasana of me, there's no question of his birth again. Take it from me, my dear Arjuna, name bhakta pranashyati. There is no question of my devotee ever getting vanquished. So many places Krishna is saying repeatedly. Why are we not able to take that big step and surrender to Krishna is the question. No, my business is there, my mother is there, my father is there, my this. Are Krishna is saying, no, don't worry, I will take care of your father, I will take care of your business, I will give you better business. No, my business is there, my wealth is there, my money is. Oh, so many questions keep on attacking us. See, that independent thought process which is there. We want to become more smarter than Krishna. No, Krishna is told, but I also have my intelligence, no. Huh? Krishna has told, no doubt about it. Nobody can, somebody who is a devotee, he knows. All these things he knows. Prabhu, that is all true. Krishna has told. But then still I have something else, no. अरे तू भगवान से भी चालाक बनना चाहता है. You want to become more smarter than the Lord. And Krishna will say, you live there only. And you suffer in the material world. Be there. You suffer. Every aspect Prabhupada is saying. See, the Bhagavatam is so clearly it is saying. In the material world, you see, they are lusting over these kind of things. Oh, wow, wish I can get a beautiful woman as my girlfriend, as my wife. They are anchoring after all these things. So much they want all these things. Wow, so much money, so much wealth. And Bhagavatam is saying, Arey, yaar, their women are much poor and they are not interested in that also. They are freely provided. Nobody even looks at them. Why they don't look at that? Why they were not looking at the women? Why they are not bewildered by these aeroplanes and all those things? Because they have something higher. They are experiencing some higher pleasure that they are not interested in this. In the material world, just like, for example, the example of that pig, that Indra pig, he doesn't have an idea of the higher pleasure, so he is just bewildered with that lower pleasure. He is stuck in that muck. He doesn't want to come out of that muck. He thinks this muck is very nice. The more we chant, the more we read, the more our consciousness becomes purified. The more we serve, the more we become humble, the more our bodily attachments start reducing. Our association, we start giving up with this material world. There's no other way out. The more we engage spiritually, the more we disengage materially. So let us engage more and more spiritually, in all aspects of spirituality. Beginning from Nama Sankirtan. Beginning from chanting the holy name of the Lord, we should enter the various realms of devotional activities. Then we become purified. Our actions will be in line with what Srimad Bhagavatam is talking. So on this auspicious day of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day, let us commit ourselves to practicing spiritual life in a more determined way, so that Guru's and Krishna's mercy is upon us always. We'll stop here if there's any questions, comments. Yeah. Well, everything depends upon our consciousness. Somebody who is materially conscious, for him, it never ends. He is always seeking more and more. There is no end to his material pursuits. Somebody who is Krishna conscious, for him, there is no need of any material pursuit at all. He will, why should I pursue that? Anything will become, he becomes uninterested in material pursuit. So, it is two opposite polarities. So, somebody who is spiritually driven, somebody who is Krishna conscious driven, he will never pursue materially. He will say, why? Why should I pursue? There is nothing material that I require. And the example of Kolavecha Sridhar is perfect in that aspect. So, you know the story of Kolavecha Sridhar? So, Kolavecha Sridhar was a poor Mahaprabhu's disciple. So, he didn't have anything. He was poverty stricken. He lived in a small hut. But he was very devoted to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He lived in Navadvip. So Mahaprabhu used to visit Kolavecha Sridhar every day and sit and chit-chat with Kolavecha Sridhar. Very exalted devotee Kolavecha Sridhar was. But he was living in extreme poverty. His wife had no clothes properly, living very hardly anything to eat. But Mahaprabhu used to daily visit Kolavecha Sridhar. So one day Mahaprabhu saw his wife was completely, she was in skin and bones. So then Mahaprabhu felt very merciful and he said, Kolavecha Sridhar, I can't see your poverty-stricken existence. I want to help you. I can't see you suffering like this. So Kolavecha Sridhar was very surprised by Mahaprabhu's words. And he said, why do you think I am suffering? I am the most happiest person in the world. He said, see, Mahaprabhu said to him, how are you happy? See your condition of the house. See your wife's state of existence. She is like a skeleton. Nothing, no flesh is there in her body at all. She is just bones. How can you say she is happy? And no, my wife is also very happy. We are both very happy. So he asked, why? How come? So he said, in whose house does Mahaprabhu come every day, sit with us and talk? So we are the most happiest people. There are so many multi-millionaires here. Do you go to their houses and sit and talk? You are Supreme Narayana. You don't go to their house, you come to my house. So who is most fortunate here? This is consciousness. Your happiness requirements, needs, everything is based on your consciousness. Now, Kolavecha Sridhar, although materially so poor, in such a bad position, yet he is not at all, and it is not simply saying, he actually lives that kind of existence in that consciousness. That it doesn't matter to him. Because he is thinking, Arey, what is the need for me in my life? Everything is there. No. When Mahaprabhu is coming, everybody, he recognizes Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he's saying, that means I'm very, very fortunate. Again, this is the principle that a devotee, a Krishna conscious person, he is convinced that if Krishna is there, everything is there. If Krishna is not there, nothing is there. Simple. That is a principle that we should think. So materially, how much is wanted? Actually, these are all material calculations in the ultimate sense. But of course, we are not Kolavecha Sridhar. So we can have a material talk, that's all. But ultimately, we should recognize from the real standards of spiritual life. So, how to do materially, to what degree, to how much degree. It is sometimes embarrassing, because from the Krishna conscious standpoint, these are all material calculations. From the standpoint of pure Krishna conscious things, we don't think like that, or we should not think like that. There is a need for material things. Like for example, sometimes our dirty things which are there, do we go and discuss publicly? We get told, why हमारा गंदगी हमारे अंदर रहना है. These are all our material things are all actually needs, our material needs or requirements. These are all actually untellable things. So if something is there at that degree, what is required, what is not required, that can be at most discussed as a one-to-one with some other devotee whom you feel comfortable with, and take suggestions as to move on. But then that person whom you are discussing also, at least he should be some level of higher consciousness than what your consciousness is about. Otherwise, he will tell you get that, you get this, you take that. He can misguide you. He has to help you to come out of that consciousness. Ultimately, that is the real essence. But the problem is, we are always seeking guidance. In the material world, we are seeking guidance from people who assess us. That means people who always accept or who doesn't negate our desires. That is the problem. We are always seeking affirmation of our desires. We want a S-man person. So somebody who tries to tell us that is little different, we are not happy with that situation. We want to seek affirmation to our thoughts, our desire. Somebody who tells yes, like that. Somebody who tells something different from what I want things to be. We don't like him. That is the real problem. That's why Chanakya Pandit says, a man of wisdom he should always have people around him who speaks differently. Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Chandra Krishna Nitaya Gauranga. Sometimes it's good to have people around you who will not simply tell SS to everything what you say. Like our parents. They will say, get lost, don't want, why you want this? There are well-wishers. So, materially, how much is required, how much is not required? First thing, it's an embarrassing question. From the spiritual dimension, because materially, nothing is required. That is the highest level of thinking. Second is, if there are some things that are there, what to do? I need some painkiller. I cannot go directly for the full treatment. I need some painkiller to manage my disease. So painkiller, you should go to the right doctor and tell when you should take the painkiller, when you should stop it, when you should not use it. That is a one-to-one conversation that you can have. But as a principle, that is not an open discussion point of view. Ultimately, our aim is to come out of all material needs and necessity and completely depend spiritually. It's a big ask, but then our focus should be there, and then from that standpoint of view, whatever is needed, and Prabhupada within our Hare Krishna movement lifestyle, he has given us some basic requirements in a society of how we can function. That gives us some yardstick as to how much our connection should be with the material world, what should be our needs and what should be our requirements. So that can be discussed separately, personally, according to your situation. Each individual differs. Srila Prabhupada ki